Yeah, that one's painful. The Warriors have now been eliminated by the Memphis Grizzlies in the second game of the play-in, lost in overtime. This game was a roller coaster of emotions, but the Warriors unfortunately couldn't get it done. Yeah, so obviously losing to the Lakers last game and the first game of the play-in, the Warriors had a second chance, as it's kind of this interesting double elimination system for those better teams, and the Warriors couldn't get it done at home against Memphis. They were really outplayed this whole game, especially in the second and third quarters. The fourth quarter, the Warriors were able to manage a really, really awesome comeback. And that's why this game hurts more, because the fact that the Warriors were able to come back from a big deficit was really amazing. They forced overtime after being down by a really big amount. They had at one point they had their first lead since the first quarter. But unfortunately, there were moments in this game where they just couldn't capitalize. Wiggins didn't play as good as I thought. Curry played great, but he still missed a decent amount of shots. And yeah, I mean, Draymond Green missed a layup at the end of the game that would have won us the game had he made it. So it's just, all these hypothetical things that if it went a certain way, we would have won. Overtime, it was a thriller for sure. I mean, Memphis just got their shots to go in. We couldn't play defense on the inside. Valanciunas and Morant could just get in every time. Same with Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane. And I mean, we lost to a team that I thought was a joke. I mean, I have no respect. Like before this game, at least, I had no respect really for the Grizzlies. I thought they were just an easy team that would get out, but clearly I was wrong. So it's kind of annoying. It's just, we had two chances to make the play-in or to make the playoffs from the play-in, and we kind of flushed both down the toilet, right? Because we lost to the Lakers in the final minutes, and we lost to the Grizzlies in the final minutes. And that's why this just hurts so much more, because, losing in a really close scenario in an elimination type game, like a wild card game, is really painful. The Warriors' turnovers were a really big factor in them losing. I mean, they had 21 turnovers, which is just ridiculously bad. And a lot of missed shots that should have gone in, like open threes. I got to give credit to certain players I didn't expect to play as well. Jordan Poole, he had some pretty clutch moments. Same with Juan Toscano. But seriously, though, they couldn't get it done. So that's our season. The Warriors get out in the play-in. And I wanted to see us make the playoffs. I thought we might have a chance against Utah or even Phoenix had we beat the Lakers, but no. So it's just a little bit upsetting. I was pretty upset when it happened. Now I've kind of processed it more. It's been about an hour since the game ended, but I mean, it's painful knowing that we made it this far. And obviously, I think the Warriors making it this far was just happy, made me happy, because I didn't really expect us to make it far just because we didn't have Clay for another year. And, we faced a lot of adversity. The West is a very good conference, but the fact that we lost to the Memphis Grizzlies 117-112 in overtime, it just doesn't sit right with me. I never see the Grizzlies as a really good team, and we played them really well last Sunday in final regular season game. So I mean, yeah, it's not a good feeling. And I'm proud to say I recapped every single game, all 74, including the play-in plus the 3 preseasons, so 77 games, I think. So that I'm glad I was there every step of the way, but I just wish we could have won, at least made the playoffs, because obviously that's 2 years now without a playoff, because last year was that dismal year. But yeah, we just simply lost this game because we couldn't stop their momentum. The Grizzlies always had runs, except for at the end when we kind of came back. The Grizzlies always had their runs. They always had their momentum going, and they always were making their shots down low and making threes. The Warriors were not doing that. When they had the ball, you could kind of be nervous because even open 3-pointers were not going in. There was lots of turnovers, lots of fouling, and it just wasn't the way you want to play in a situation like this. I thought the Warriors would come out to play a lot more aggressively, and to an extent they did, but playing aggressively and fouling are not the same thing. So Yeah, our field goal percentage wasn't terrible. Our 3-point percentage wasn't great though, and we just couldn't clutch up. It's just how it goes. The Warriors sometimes, even in that big finals run, sometimes they just wouldn't clutch up. 2016, good example of that, and that kind of paralleled to now because I feel like we had opportunities to win this game. We also had opportunities to lose this game, but earlier on in the fourth quarter, and we did come back. So I do give the boys credit for coming back from that big deficit. It was 8 points. It was 7, then it was 8, then it was like 4, then it was 3, then it was 1, then it was none. So I do give them credit for that, 100%. I love when the Warriors come back, or any one of my favorite teams, right? But it's just the fact that we couldn't get it done in overtime and losing by 5. It's like a punch to the mouth, right? So, anyways, I want to thank you all for sticking with me, watching all the Warriors games and watching all my recaps. Like I said, that's it's crazy the way the season went. And I feel like we did accomplish more than I expected, but that's gonna do it. So, anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this season. Let me know your thoughts on this game, on any specific part of it. I will have a season in review video coming up. So, anyways, guys, go Warriors.